Why was coach Tuchel sacked? According to the British Telegraph, the refusal to participate in the transfer process and the rejection of the proposal to buy Cristiano Ronaldo without explanation led to Thomas Tuchel being fired by Chelsea. This week Tuchel marked 100 games in charge of Chelsea, but the new owners only need 100 days to determine the team needs a new manager for their era. At Maksimir Stadium, Zagreb on the evening of September 6, two billionaire owners of Chelsea, Todd Bailey and Bidat Eghbali, were in the audience to watch the match with the host Dinamo Zagreb. The defeat of the visitors reinforced the decision to sack Tuchel that they had made earlier. During the evaluation of their first 100 days at Chelsea, Bailey and Eghbali wanted to create a new culture at Chelsea. They also assessed the prospect of a long-term stay with Tuchel, but the German coach did not show much to prove he was part of the new strategy. Before his trip to Croatia, Tuchel said he had come a long way with Chelsea, but still hoped there will be 100 more games, then 100 games after that. But the 49-year-old coach's attitude made Chelsea leaders skeptical. They claim that Tuchel has ruined his own reputation, which is more serious than the team's 3-game losing streak at home. Tuchel's last signing was striker Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who played just 59 minutes for Chelsea. The presence of the old game Tuchel at Chelsea is not proof that the team owner places his trust in the coach. Bailey and his team wanted a new culture at Stamford Bridge, and Tuchel wasn't the right person for it. At first, Bailey and Eghbali believed Tuchel. He is given more rights in the transfer market. Tuchel is supported more than any coach who has worked under owner Roman Abramovich. But 100 days of working together raised doubts in the two new bosses about the ability to work with Tuchel long-term. They suggested that perhaps Tuchel was more suited to the mere coaching duties of the Abramovich era. Bailey and his associates understand that the decision to fire Tuchel will attract attention and receive a lot of criticism, especially after the transfer period they spent up to $282 million. After assuming the position of interim president and sporting director, Bailey set his own strategy, accepting the disapproval and ridicule of Tuchel's supporters. The new bosses fired former chairman Bruce Buck and director Marina Granovskaya. Former goalkeeper Petrasek also resigned despite being offered to stay. But the departure of these three characters is not as turbulent as Tuchel, when the German coach has created a place in the hearts of fans with the Champions League championship in 2021. And he is also considered the best coach in the world. Gender. But in the end, the Chelsea owners accepted to ignore the noise from outside the team after this decision. They are only worried whether the Chelsea dressing room will react negatively. The team's performance in Zagreb showed that the player had no intention of protesting the bosses when he sacked Tuchel. Because Tuchel is no longer popular with some players, Bailey and Eghbali believe that they will not be ostracized internally by the team. The two men will explain to the whole team that the decision to fire the German coach is long-term. They want players to also unite for the long-term goal, instead of reacting negatively to this forgettable start to the season. The owners proved that point by targeting coach Graham Potter from Brighton to succeed Tuchel. Bailey's philosophy with partners has always been long-term, with some Chelsea players signed to 6-year contracts. Coach Dave Roberts of the Bailey-owned LA Dodgers baseball team, also worked for 7 years and just renewed for another 3 years. Roberts has been through many ups and downs, but it is important that he believes in his superiors, because they have given him their trust and money. Tuchel has repeatedly said that he does not want to be more involved in the recruitment process of Chelsea players in the summer of 2022. And he also complains about the loss of a valuable assistant like Cech, in the role of a technical consultant. Bailey and Eghbali had to do the heavy lifting themselves during the transfer window, working day and night across different time zones. The two new billionaires at Chelsea have faced more pressure this past summer, not Tuchel. The new bosses have created a WhatsApp group to facilitate communication between the management and the coaching staff. They want Tuchel's team to contribute ideas and discuss transfer targets. but he is said to want to solve problems alone, or with close associates. That habit is not in line with the holistic management of Bela and Eghbali. They want to work with a coach who is comfortable pitching ideas and answering questions. That person must also explain questions from owners who do not have as much football experience. They also want the departments at Chelsea to stick together and cooperate better. The owners and Tuchel began to conflict when Chelsea had the opportunity to recruit Cristiano Ronaldo. The German coach simply replied, "No," leaving Bela and Eghbali confused. Sources say Tuchel seemed annoyed when asked to give reasons for not wanting the Portuguese superstar. On September 3, Tuchel made it clear that he did not want to be involved in the process of recruiting a new sporting director for Chelsea. That shows how reluctant he is to participate in collective work in the team. The atmosphere on the Chelsea training ground is also said to be tense. A group of players feel they have been treated unfairly, in terms of playing opportunities and positions that are not as expected. There are players who have been forgotten, suddenly played, and then dismissed. Hakim Ziyech started in the defeat to Southampton, although he tried to leave Chelsea in the summer of 2022. By the time he came on in the second half in Zagreb, Ziyech did not appear to be trying to present himself in the eyes of the coach. After a situation where he took a free kick to hit the fence, Chelsea received a similar penalty. Reece James asked to kick instead, but Ziyech refused, letting the kick hit the fence again. Tuchel's irritable attitude not only annoys those outside of Chelsea, it also frustrates the players in the team's dressing room. Then Bela and Eghbali made an appointment to meet and discuss Tuchel's dismissal on the morning of September 7. Information about the appointment Tuchel had received before the game in Zagreb, but he thought it was just a meeting. The German coach probably did not expect that he had to leave the meeting as unemployed, despite receiving $15 million in compensation in hand.